Raise your hand if you like cookies. Put your hand down. Raise your hand if you like pizza. Put your hand down. Raise your hand if you like ice cream. Put your hand down. Raise your hand if you like macaroni. Put your hand down. Raise your hand if you like spaghetti. Put your hand down. Raise your hand if you like worms. Wait a minute. I didn't say you had to eat the worms. I just asked if you liked worms. Do you like worms? If it wasn't for worms, we wouldn't have ice cream. We wouldn't have spaghetti. We wouldn't have pizza. And we'd all have to eat rocks. Worms are a very important creature on the earth. Is spaghetti made out of worms? No? What's spaghetti made out of?
Noodles.
Noodles. And where do you get noodles from? From the store. But where does the store get the noodles?
Grocery store.
From the noodle factory. And the noodle factory grinds something up to make those noodles. Do they grind up worms? No.
I bet to the cheese.
They grind up wheat.
I bet to the cheese.
And where does the wheat come from?
Noodles.
It comes from the farm. The farmer grows it. Where does he grow it? Up in the clouds?
No.
Oh, he grows it in the ground? In the soil?
Yeah, and they have to plant it for.
But where does the soil come from?
They buy it.
The worms. The worms eat leaves and make soil.
Yeah, and then
So if it wasn't for worms, we'd have to eat rocks. All right, well, my name is Al, but people call me Alleyoop sometimes. It's kind of a nickname. And I came to do a show for you. We're going to have songs and stories and puppets. Do you like those things? Oh, good. Well, let's start off with a game you get to play. Now, in this song, you need your fingers. You need your toes. And don't forget, you need your nose. Did you bring your nose with you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. So, here we go. Put one finger up in the air, up in the air. Put another finger up in the air, up in the air. Put all your fingers up in the air and wave them around up there. Put your fingers down from the air. Put one toe up in the air, in the air. Put another toe up in the air, in the air. Put all your toes way up in the air and wave them around up there. Put your toe down from the air. Put one nose up in the air, in the air. Put another nose up in the air, in the air. Put all your noses way up in the air and wave them around up there. Put your nose down from the air. How many noses do you have? Well, maybe you'll get another one for your birthday. Put one finger on top of your head, on your head. Put another finger on top of your head, on your head. Put all your fingers on top of your head. Now tell me, is it green or red? Is it green or red on top of your head? Take your fingers off your head, green or red. Put one finger on your ear, on your ear. Put another finger on your ear, on your ear. Put all your fingers on your ear and leave it there a year. A year? That's too long. Take your fingers off your ear, off your ear. Put one finger on your cheek, on your cheek. Put another finger on your cheek, on your cheek. Put all your fingers on your cheek. Now try to make them squeak. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Take your fingers off your cheek, off your cheek. Did your cheek squeak? What? Cheeks are supposed to squeak. Maybe you need to wash your face or shave or something. All right, here comes a tricky one. Put one finger on your nose, on your nose. Take that very same finger, put it way down on your toe. Put that finger back on your nose. Put that finger back on your toes. Now put your toes on your nose, on your nose. Ew, toes on nose? That's kind of smelly. Clap your fingers all together, all together. Clap your toes all together, all together. Clap your fingers and toes together. Let's clap for sunny weather. Clap your fingers all together, all together. Now that was the easy part of the song. Now we're gonna do the hard part. Put all your fingers way up in the air. Keep them up there. Don't let them down. Now put your toes in the air. Keep them up there. Don't let them down. Put your nose way up in the air. With your toes way up in the air. With your fingers up in the air. Keep them up there. Don't let them down. Keep them all up there for a week. Keep them all up there till you squeak. Keep your fingers and your nose and your toes in the air, way up high in the air. Put your fingers and your nose and your toes down from there. Give yourself a big hand. You did a really good job. All right, we had a song. We better have a puppet. A long, long, long time ago, people started making these little dancing puppets. They have lots of different names. Some people call him Dancing Dan because he's a pretty good dancer. Other people call him Jumpin' Johnny because he's a good jumper. 1, 2, 3, jump, whoa! But most people just call him Limberjack. He's gonna do a dance for you. Would you like to see him do a trick? Yeah. He can do the splits. 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's not a split, that's a sit. 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's kneeling down. Come on, they want to see a split, not an upside down split. They want a right side up split. All right, come on, you can do it. 1, 2, not a belly flop. All right, come on, we want to see a split. One leg in the front, one in the back. He can do it, he's done it before. Come on, Dancing Man, he did it. He did the splits. A long time ago was the first time I ever saw one of these, and I said to the person, oh, I would like to have one of those. And they said, well, you can't buy this at a store. I said, how come? He said, they don't sell them in stores. So I said, well, how can I get one? And he said, you have to learn how to make it. I said, how do I do that? He told me there's a book you can get from the library that'll show you how to make it. So I went to the library and I got that book and I learned how to make them and I made this little man. Well, one day I thought maybe I should make something different. And so I made a dancing horse. Now there's a special word you say to a horse to make him run. Does anybody know what that word is? Yeah! Not yeehaw, no, it's giddy up. All right, on the count of 3, everybody say giddy up. 1, 2, 3. Giddy up! Whoa, horsey. And then one day I thought maybe I should make something else.
A dog!
So I made a little dog.
I like dogs.
You like dogs?
I like dogs.
All right, well, my dog's name is Blue. Well, I've got a dog, his name is Blue. I've got a dog, his name is Blue. I've got a dog, his name is Blue. He can spin his ears, can you? Can you spin your ears?
No.
Sing Hero Blue, you're a hound dog too. Arr! And then one day day I thought maybe I should make a frog. Have you ever seen a dancing frog? And then one day some children said to me, "Can you make a dancing cat?" So I got some pieces of wood and I made a little kitty cat. Let's see if this cat can dance. Oh, I had a cat and the cat pleased me. I fed my cat under yonder tree. And I don't know what I'm gonna make next, but maybe something. So now we've had a song and some stories. We better have... Oh, we didn't have a story yet. We have to have a story. A long, long time ago, in a faraway place called Norway, there were lots of snow up there and ice. And up in the mountains was a little town. And in the middle of that town was a castle. And there was a king and a queen and a princess that lived in that castle. And all around the castle were little houses where lots of people lived. And in one of those houses was a little boy named Anders. Anders loved playing in the snow. So he would put on his hat and his coat and his mittens and his boots and go out and play in the snow. When he came home one day, his ears were really cold. And his mother said, "Where's your hat?" He said, "I lost it." She said, "Here, wear your brother's hat." So he put on his brother's hat, and off he went out into the snow and played and played and played. But when he came home, his ears were really cold. And his mother said, "Where's your hat?" He said, "I lost it." She goes, "Again? Here, take your sister's hat." So he put on his sister's hat, and out he went and played in the snow. And when he came home this time, his ears were really cold. His mother said, "Where's your hat?" He said, "I lost it." She said, "Oh, stand over there by the fire and get warm, and I'm going to show you something." Now, she had a big basket full of yarn, different colors of yarn. And she had 2 big long knitting needles, and she began to knit a hat. First red, then orange, then yellow, then green, then blue, then purple, and then red. And she made the most colorful and longest hat you ever saw. It's a hat and a scarf. And Anders put it on his head. And he started walking around the house singing this song. Will you sing it with me? I've got a new hat. I've got a new hat. Ba-dum, 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 I've got a new hat. His brothers and sisters said, "Anders, you're making too much noise. We're trying to read our storybooks. Go outside in the snow." He said, "That's a good idea." So out into the snow he went. I've got a new hat. I've got a new hat. Ba-dum, 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 I've got a new hat. A baker was there with a great big white puffy hat, and he had a basket. And the basket was covered with a towel, and steam was coming off that basket, and something smelled really yummy. And the baker said, "Gee, Anders, that's a nice hat you have. I'll trade you." And he put the basket down and uncovered it, and what was in there? Blueberry muffins. They smelled so good. Anders really wanted one of those muffins, and the baker said, "I'll give you 6 muffins for your hat. Come on, trade me." Anders said, "But my mama just made me this hat. I can't trade it. I'm sorry, no trade." And off he walked into the snow. I've got a new hat. I've got a new hat. Ba-dum, 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 I've got a new hat. Then he met a teenager, and the teenager said, "Hey, Anders, I like that hat of yours. I'll trade you my hat for your hat." Anders said, "No, thank you." And the teenager said, "Wait." And he reached into his pocket, and he took out a pocket knife, and he said, "I'll give you my pocket knife and my hat. Come on, trade me." Anders wouldn't trade, and he said, "Sorry, no trade." And off he walked into the snow. I've got a new hat. I've got a new hat. Ba-dum, 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 I've got a new hat. He came to the castle, and there was a guard there at the castle gate, and he had a big black woolly hat and a red uniform with gold buttons. And he said, "Gee, Anders, that's a nice hat you have there. I'm sorry you're not invited to the king's party." Anders didn't care. He was playing in the snow. That was fun. But just then a voice from the other side of the gate cried out, "Guard! Guard! Let that boy in with the nice hat. Let him in." The guard said, "I guess you are invited." And he opened up the gate, and there stood the princess. She had a purple robe on and a silver crown covered with jewels. And she took Anders by the arm and said, "Come with me to the party. There's lots of treats. That's sure a nice hat you have." They went inside, and there were lots of tables. And all the tables were covered with cookies and candies and cakes and pies, every kind of treat you could think of. And the princess started taking some and putting them in Anders' pockets. And she filled up his pocket. She said, "You can have all the treats you want, but please give me your hat." Anders pulled his hat on a little bit tighter, and he said, "My mama made this hat for me. I can't give it away." And then the princess took off her gold necklace, and she put it around his neck and said, "You can have my gold necklace, but please give me your hat." Anders just pulled it on a little bit tighter, and then the king came into the room. He had a big purple robe too, and a gold crown covered with jewels. And he came right up to Anders' table and said, "Gee, Anders, that's a nice hat you have there." Anders said, "Thank you, your majesty, and everybody wants my hat." And the king said, "I know what you mean. Everybody wants my crown too. Hey, wait. How about I trade you? I'll give you my gold crown for your hat." Anders went, "Oh, no." He jumped up from the table and ran out of the palace. He got out into the snow. He was running as fast as he could go, and the cookies and candies and cakes fell out of his pockets, but he didn't stop to pick them up. He kept running, and the gold necklace fell off. It fell in the snow, but he didn't stop to pick it up. He ran all the way home, and he told his big brothers and sisters about what had happened. And his big brother said, "You should have taken that king's crown." Andrew said, "No, I should not. Mama made me the best hat in the whole wide world, and I'm keeping it." And he started walking around the house singing his song. "I've got a new hat. I've got a new hat. Ba-dum, 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 I've got a new hat." And that's the story about the hat that Mother made. How would you like a hat like that? I bet you wouldn't lose it, would you? Do you think you would lose that hat? It'd be hard to lose, wouldn't it? All right. I think we better have another song. Everybody stand up right where you are. You've been doing such a good job. We're gonna do puppet after this. This is a song where you get to do things. Jump up and down, 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 jump up and down. Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap, 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 clap. Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap, 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 clap. Spin around, around and around and around. Spin around, around and around and around. Jump up and down, clap your hands, spin around and around. Jump up and down, clap your hands, spin around and around. Around and around and around. Around and around and around. Everyone sit down. Good job. All right, we better have another puppet. What do you think's in this blue box? There's puppets in there.
Puppets?
Look who's here. Maybe they know who this is. Oh, hello. My name is Rudolph the Brown-Nosed Moose Deer. What? What's your name? Rudolph. You're not a red-nosed reindeer. No, I'm a moose deer. A moose deer? Do you have a song? Oh yeah, I do. Rudolph the brown-nosed moose deer had a very slimy nose. And if you ever wipe it, it'll get all over your clothes. That's not the song. They know the real song about Rudolph. That's just you making that up. Now, I have a question for you. Are you a moose? Yes, I'm a moose. Now, a goose, if there's one, you call it a goose. But if there's a bunch of them, you call them geese. And if you were a mouse, there's only one, you call it a mouse. But if there's lots of them, you call it mice. So you're a moose. What if there's 2 or 3 or 4 of you? What are you called? Moose? No. What about meese? No, meese is just moose. Okay, there's only one moose. You call it a moose. What if there's 2? Moose. All right. Say goodbye to the moose. We'll get more puppets up, but I think we ought to have a song about reindeer, don't you? Do you know the names of all the reindeer? Well, a lot of children don't know this part of the song. The first part of the song about Rudolph tells you the names of the other reindeer. Here it comes. Are you ready? You know, Dasher and Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Who is it? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glowed. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, ho, 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 Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee, yippee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. But why did Santa choose the reindeer?
Because he had a very shiny nose.
But there's other animals that can pull sleighs. I better tell you the story. A long, long time ago, Santa lived at the North Pole, and he was an elf. He was about this tall. And he played all the time with his friends, the animals. He played with the seals. He liked to throw balls to the seals and have catch with them. He played hide and go seek with the reindeer because they were easy to find because their antlers stuck up so high. He liked to race with the husky dogs and the polar bears. They were so much fun to play with. But one day, a little bird came up and landed on Santa's shoulder and said, Santa, the boys and girls don't have any toys to play with. You've got to do something. And Santa said, that's right. And that very day, he made a secret workshop under the ice and under the snow in a place where no one would know, not even his animal friends. And he invited the other elves to come and help him. And they were all making toys, and this animal friend said, where's Santa? Now they kept sniffing, and they found his workshop and knocked on the door. And Santa said, oh, come in, you can help. That was a big mistake. The polar bears were so big, they started knocking everything off the shelves and the workbenches. The husky dogs started biting all the other stuffed animals. The reindeer's antlers were popping the balloons. Oh, what a mess. And so Santa said, out of my shop. He chased them all out. They said, but Santa, we want to help. He said, nope, get out. Well, the elves made a huge pile of toys. And Santa said, now how am I going to get these to the children? And the elves said, we're going to make you a magic sleigh. Oh. So they made a magic sleigh. They put all the toys in it, and they pushed it outside. And all of his animal friends were there. And Santa said, who's going to pull my sleigh? And the polar bear said, We'll do it, Santa. We're big and strong. And the husky dog said, "Arf, arf, we'll do it, Santa." And then the seals went, "Arf, arf, arf, we can do it too." And everybody laughed. Seals can't pull a sleigh. That's so silly. Well, that hurt the seals' feelings. And so said, "All right, the seals can pull my sleigh." So Santa hitched up the seals, and off they went. And they were doing a really good job, except they started to argue. The first seal said, "Let's go to Alaska. They've got good fish there." No, we want to go to Seattle," said the other fish. Well, they argued about where they were going, and they went nowhere. So Santa turned them around, and he brought them back to the North Pole. And this time he hitched up the husky dogs. They were really good at pulling sleighs. And off they went, and they would have been perfect, except they started to argue too. The first dog said, I think I'm not pulling as much as you are. You're pulling too hard." "No, I'm not," said the other dog. "Well, you're not pulling hard enough then." And they argued about who was pulling their hardest, and they went nowhere. Oh, Santa brought them back to the North Pole, and this time he hitched up the polar bears. And off they went. And they were big and strong, and they could run fast too. And they were zipping through the snow, and it would have worked out perfectly, except they came to the place of trees. The polar bears had never heard of trees. They'd heard about them in stories. They'd never seen one. And they unhitched themselves, and they started climbing trees. And Santa said, "Get down out of those trees. We've got to take these toys to the children." But every time they saw a new tree, they wanted to climb it. So Santa turned them around and took them back to the North Pole. And then he hitched up the reindeer. They went wherever Santa wanted to go. They all pulled their hardest, and no matter how curious they were, they never left his sleigh. And so ever since that day, Santa always uses reindeer. The end.
Yes.
Are you ready for another puppet? No, it's not a reindeer.
Hi. Hi, I'm a snowman. It's hot in here. I think I'm gonna melt. Where can I go to get cold?
The fridge.
The fridge?
The refrigerator.
You mean the freezer?
No, the fridge.
I know. I'll get in your freezer, but first I have to throw all the ice cream on the floor.
Don't throw the ice cream on the floor.
Give it to the children. Oh, you like to eat frozen things?
All right.
Yes.
I brought with me a xylophone today, and we're going to do a little poem with this snowman. The chubby little snowman had a carrot for a nose. He stood still awaiting, for whom do you suppose? Along came Hungry Bunny, looking for some lunch. He ate up Snowman's nose with a nibble and a crunch. Crunch, 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 crunch. Nibble, 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 crunch.
I'm the chubby little snowman.
I have another little poem about a snowman. Once there was a snowman. He stood outside the door. He thought he'd like to come inside and run around the floor. He thought he'd like to warm himself by the firelight red. He thought he'd like to jump up on a big white bed. So he called to the north wind.
Help me now, I pray. I'm completely frozen standing here all day.
And the north wind came along and blew him through the door. And now there's nothing left of him except a puddle on the floor.
I don't want to be a puddle. Where can I go to get really cold? Outside? Up at, I can go up to the mountains and play in the snow. That's a good idea.
All right, say goodbye to the chubby little snowman. Let's see what other puppet can come out right now. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. There's a rabbit in here.
Yeah, me too.
My name is Jack Rabbit Dagnabbit, and don't you forget it. And I've got long ears, and you better not grab it. And I've got a big foot, and I can kick you with a wallop.
You better not wallop anybody. Well, I've got a little song to do with Mr. Rabbit. Will you help me do the song? All right.
What's my name?
Oh,
My name is Jack Rabbit Dagnabbit, don't forget it.
I'm gonna call him Mr. Rabbit. Mr. Rabbit, your ears are kind of long.
Yes, I know, they were put on wrong.
Mr. Rabbit, your eyes are kind of brown.
Yes, I know, they're for looking around.
Mr. Rabbit, your nose always twitches.
Yes, I know, 'cause it always itches.
Mr. Rabbit, where did you go?
I went down to the grocery store.
Oh, Mr. Rabbit, what do you eat?
Cabbage and carrots from my head to my feet.
Mr. Rabbit, what did you buy?
I bought some onions and they made me cry.
Mr. Rabbit, what did you make?
I made myself an onion cake.
An onion cake? Is that like a carrot cake?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rabbit, your coat is kind of brown.
Yes, I know. I don't remember how to do that part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Rabbit, your coat is kind of gray.
Yes, I know. It was made that way.
Mr. Rabbit, your tail is small and white.
Yes, I know. It was put on right. But I used to have a bigger tail, big fluffy tail, bigger than a squirrel's, bigger than a fox's.
What happened to your tail?
I went to visit my grandma, and she had a nice garden with raspberries and strawberries and blueberries and lettuce and carrots.
Well, what did you want to eat?
I wanted to eat some lettuce, but somebody stepped on it.
Well, who stepped on the lettuce?
I didn't know, so I made a trap to catch whoever it was.
Well, did you catch anyone?
Yeah, I caught the sun, and he was so mad he burned my tail off.
Oh, look. You can see the burn mark right there. Oh, is that the only place the sun burned you?
No, he burned me on the tip of my ears. Hey, don't touch my ears.
Sorry. Oh, you can see a little burn mark.
I said don't touch my ears. I bet you kids don't remember my name. My name is Jack Rabbit Dagnabbit, and don't you forget it.
All right, back in the box, you silly rabbit. I brought my stocking with me. Does anybody here have a Christmas stocking?
No.
Well, mine's got a hole in the toe. Do you know how it got there?
No.
I better tell you. One Christmas Eve, when Santa Claus came to a certain house to fill the children's stockings there, he met a little mouse. "A Merry Christmas, little mouse," said Santa, good and kind.
Same to you, sir,
said the mouse.
I thought you wouldn't mind if I should stay awake tonight and watch you for a while.
"You're very welcome, little mouse," said Santa with a smile. And then he took the stockings down from where they hung so high and filled them up. He filled them up. And a mouse came along and he gnawed a hole in the toe. Hey, there's something in there. What's in there? What do you think's in there? It's the mouse. Goodbye. Oh, get back in the box, you silly mouse. All right. Are you ready to play a wild and silly game? Everybody stand up. This is a game called Dance and Freeze. Do you know how to play that game? Shake your hands. Freeze. Oh, you know how to play. Stomp your feet. Freeze. Oh, they really do know how to play. Oh, good. Well, the words of the song are going to tell you what to do. You can dance around, act like a clown, jump up and down, jump all around. When the music stops, you have to freeze. You can move real fast, move real slow, move any way that you want to go. When the music stops, you have to freeze. Put your fingers up in the air, wave them around up there. Wave them around, now freeze. You can spin around and around and around and around. Spin around, spin around, spin around, spin around, freeze. Now hop around on one foot, hop around on the other foot. Keep on a hopping, keep on a bopping, now freeze. You can move real slow, move real slow. Move as slow as a turtle goes. When the music stops, you have to freeze. You can move real fast, 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 fast. When the music stops, you have to freeze. Well, the music may stop here, or the music may stop there. When the music stops, you have to freeze. You shake, 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 shake. When the music stops, you have to freeze. You can jump up and down, jump up and down, jump, 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 jump up and down, jump up and down, jump up and down, now freeze. Now hop around on one foot, hop around on the other foot. Keep on a-hopping, keep on a-bopping, now freeze. You can move real slow, move real slow. Move as slow as a turtle goes. When the music stops, you have to freeze. Please scoot away from my box. Scoot away, scoot away. There we go. Dance around, act like a clown, jump up and down, jump all around. When the music stops, you have to sneeze. No, that's not right. When the music stops, you have to cheese. No. When the music stops, you have to please. No. I can't remember. What am I supposed to do? What? Oh, unfreeze, dance around, act like a clown, jump up and down, jump all around. When the music stops, the show is done. All right, everybody sit back down. There's one more puppet that's gonna come out. No.
Is it 12 puppets?
What's that?
How many puppets are there?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't count them. But it's time for another group of children to come in just a couple of minutes. So I thought you'd like to meet my elf. Shall I let the elf out?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Come on out of there, Elfie. My name is Trouble. Trouble? Are you causing trouble? I work for Santa Claus, and I look for kids that are causing trouble. Are you causing any trouble?
No.
That's good. Okay. Well, as you go out, the elf is going to be over by the door over there, and you can give him 5, okay? As he goes out. So I hope you have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. And I hope you keep working hard in school, okay? That's the end for now. I'm going to go sit over by the door, and as you go out, you can give the elf 5, okay?